not. We're not treated equal. And by cheating ourselves and saying, yes, we are treated equal, doesn't mean that we get treated equal. It's people don't want to hear that there are people who are treated better than other people.
Because they've got this.
No,
or because they're important.
They're important.
Oh,
yes, because even they got.
If you can have a private insurance scheme for health care, then you get treated.
No, you won't.
Yes, you.
No, you won't. I know somebody was in a private health hospital and the right doctor wasn't there, so another doctor wouldn't treat the person. He said, your doctor's not here, bad luck, you have to wait for your doctor to come.
So what happened?
I don't know. The person had to wait for their doctor to come. He wouldn't. This doctor wouldn't decide on emergency, what the register, whatever, wouldn't decide on what to give them. Even though he was in a private healthcare, doesn't mean private healthcare is better. But national healthcare has to be proper national healthcare. Everybody. I think in some points, not communism is right. Some points, everybody is equal. A right to life, everybody's equal. You can't say a right to life. Some people are more equal than others.
But let me tell you just one little thing. On the continent, everybody has to have a private insurance scheme, private health insurance scheme.
And so what?
It's only in England.
Yes, but does it mean that everybody's treated equally? There are people who treat.
I think they are treated better.
Do you think so?
The health
and what happens if
Holland is better.
And what do you say if the person says, well, you're too expensive, you're over, the healthcare, the organisation says you're too expensive, you're much too much. How do you know that the healthcare in Holland,
they don't pay 100%.
No, wait a minute. How do you know that the healthcare which has been given in Holland under a private scheme gives the full treatment, best treatment that can be available? How do you know?
You are in the hands of the nurse.
Ah, you don't know that. You don't know whether the nurse says, oh, you get a different sort of nurse. I'm sorry, your treatment, the healthcare says, no, you can't give them that expensive drug. It's too expensive. We're not paying for it. How do you know that the private health schemes don't do that as well? How do you know that? How do you know? You don't.
I don't.
You don't. Ah. So it doesn't mean to say that it's better. You think it's better because you're paying for it. You think it's better. It doesn't mean to say. What I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to say a different thing. I'm trying to say the national health. There should be a national health scheme, and everybody should be entitled to the same standard of national health. You're saying that there isn't enough money, and I'm saying there is enough money. Money is spent.
There is not enough money wanted to be spent.
Because the government is governing for military reasons, for big exhibitions, show reasons, and everything else. They're not governing, and we, the people, should get a first-class service. They only does once in 4 years to get voted in. And if we would demonstrate and say we are voting against, that we don't agree that you are, any of you people who are in, whether it's liberals, conservatives, or Labour, do care fully for the people. Or New Labour do care fully for the people. This is a question we've got to ask ourselves. Do they care fully for the people?
Who are you going to ask this question?
The people.
Who?
The people. By people voting in. By people voting a vote.
Prime Minister?
No. By people voting in a negative vote, saying we are abstaining. By coming there and abstaining and voting in a negative vote, the people are showing that we do not trust any of you government people, any of the three governments, major governments who want to get in. We do not trust you. Neither Labour, neither Conservative. But that we show by coming. By not coming, they can say, oh, they can give 50,000 reasons. 50,000 are in hospital, and another 200,000 are here, and 100,000 are out of the country. Like this, by coming to vote, you show you are abstaining. You are against them. You do not agree, and that's the least we can do in life, that we abstain. We can't force the governments to spend more money on health and less money on armaments and things like that. But what we can do is show that we are not being cheated. We're not being taken for a ride anymore.
So
we're telling you the truth, government.
How are you going to get those people together to go?
There should be on every ballot paper an abstention vote where we are abstaining. We do not want to vote. Everybody has to go and vote.
Agree.
We do not. And if a person who cannot come to vote should be sent in a paper saying, yes, I'm not going to vote for anybody, I'm abstaining from voting. And there should be one vote in abstention. Everybody should be forced to vote, and there should be a possibility of abstaining. I'm not voting for anybody.
And what do you gain by abstaining?
By showing that you don't agree. If 50%.
So how are you going to create?
So let's do it. Let's say 50% of the country abstained. Let's say the votes came out that Labour had 25% and another had so many percentage, and all three together, all the parties didn't have 50% of the country. There was 50% of the country who was abstaining from voting, had the abstention vote marked. Then the government has to redo a new election and set new parties where people will believe in the party. That would be an idea. Because people show that abstaining.
How do you make those new parties?
Then you have to. Then the people have to come along. If people see there's 50% of abstention in the voting system, then people will come along and say, "Oh, I'll make a party. I'll make a party. Maybe somebody will get in who is not on the original side of the party. Maybe somebody new will get in." If there was an abstention. That means if we saw 50% of the country, or even more, less than 50%, 50% of the country abstained from voting completely. Everybody was forced to vote. Everybody had to vote. Everybody over 18 had to vote.
So first that law has to be changed.
Yes, that everybody has to vote,
So
and then there should be an abstention vote inside where people can abstain from voting completely.
So
And then we would see if 50% of the country has
no
voted.
work to do, Mr. Love.
I don't know. I think it's a good idea. And that's why I'm making a program about it and thinking that maybe it will get over to somebody's ear. Somebody will see it.